vulnerability, so that we hear the experience of others, so that we can build our capacity to see where a person is coming from, to understand on not just the um, intellectual level, or not just with our minds, but to understand with our hearts as well, what's trying to be communicated. Um, and then Luis also pointed out that at the end of a Zoom class, you could pop in right at the end and thank the teacher, which I
Yeah.
think is something that I've seen Gingy do actually to the social justice teacher at San Leandro High. Um, and I think, that's always a nice way, because the teachers know that we're halfway listening anyway. So,
They know.
so we might as well come on.
One other thing I wanted to say, so on my block, there is a couple, they're elder, retired, and they don't have kids that live with them. And one day we had all our kids, because my son's cousins, they all live by us as well. And they were playing outside with masks on, they were safe, but they were laughing. They were having a good time. And the neighbor came to said, "It's so good to hear kids laugh. It's so good to hear kids play." One of the ways we can beautify our neighborhood and have random acts of kindness is to figure out how to have playtime and outdoor play space that's safe, where neighbors and people can also hear that. It's really hard to be really mad when you hear kids laughing. Anyone tried that? Go try it tonight. Well, no, they may think you're playing, but okay. Is there anything that anyone wants to share around community? So while we see our nation has changed leadership, it still means that we have a responsibility in our community to also support what's going on a larger level so that our kids feel it. I just want to acknowledge that we as a community have been through a lot as parents. If you're a parent or a guardian or take care of a kid and you've been through a lot, go ahead and just put both hands up like this. Let me see your hands. And then just massage your head, like for all those headaches, for those little migraine, for all those deep thoughts you've had or those worrisome nights. Just go ahead and give yourself a little massage. The temples back here. And just know that even though, oh, that feels good. Does that feel good to anyone? Can I hear you? Or is it just me? Am I doing too good of a job over here? Thank you, Montana. Thank you, family. Right? And we're doing that because even though as parents, we're still in quarantine with our kids, right? We still are struggling. Some of us all are struggling. Let's see in the chat box. Let's pause for a minute and have people chat. What are the different things today that we as parents or guardians are struggling with? Okay, you don't have to say it about you. If you put it in a chat box, we can assume it's for other parents. But what are we all still working on and struggling with that makes me need a massage in my head? This is part of building community so that we're not alone again, right?
Right.
Kids on tech more than before in COVID. My gosh, makes you want to drink more coffee. Screen time, screen time. Is anyone dealing with kids having headaches now because of screen time? Right, another new thing to figure out.
It's backaches because they're slouching because you're at the dining room table all day, not at a chair that was meant to sit in all day.
Yep. And Miss Annie said, unable to get them to exercise because they're so used to being at the table. Bad posture, right? All these, anybody have kids that got a little bit more attitude than they used to have? I'm just saying, okay, thank you, right? Kyle said, just being out in the community, right? And so James, keeping balance between family and work. Yes, lack of activity, shelter in place. We say that again because I want to remind you all that we are not alone. That is why we're all in these little Brady Bunch screens today. Just to have another reminder that as community, we are moving through this together. But the key word is through. Through. One day we will meet each other at each other's school. And today in our nation was hopefully a day of just a little more hope that things are going to get better. And so I want Franklin to share with you all one of the things that we do sometimes in our work and in our family is that we use things from nature. We use keywords, but different ways to bring beauty, to bring community, and to bring kindness. It doesn't cost much at all, but it gives a lot. Mr. Heister?
Great. So we have this example of Peace Rocks, which could be an activity that we could do with our children or as families. And in this activity, you could pretty much Google it online, but we've been also, sharing it with programs throughout the Bay Area. So you can actually get these smooth rocks fairly cheaply, either just by walking around, or you could go to like Office Depot, a Home Depot, or something of the sort. And then you just invite each one of you to, oh, look at Montana's.
Ah,
Yep.
yay.
So you literally can put a wish that you have for your community, a wish you have for our community. And then you can strategically leave it somewhere for someone else to find, right? So we can leave it, I don't
At
know.
the coffee shop.
Yeah, at the coffee shop or at the library or just in the neighborhood at the park. But it just allows us to have a way of connecting, and perhaps even in a way that's socially distanced. But a lot of times, I think in the last session, we were talking about what could we do with our children, because we're running out of activities. And so here's an example of an activity we could do with kids. And so, and it could also just spur some really deep conversation with your children, so that when your child is saying, like Annie's little one saying, we need to listen to each other, then that gives that young person an opportunity to talk about why they said that and what is not happening that they wish would be happening. I'm seeing also, Luis, those younger kids are using sidewalk chalk, exactly like same concept, right? So.
Yeah.
What did it say, Luis? It said to jump?
Yeah, she made a hopscotch. I don't know what you call it. It's not a board, but she made a hopscotch frame, and then it was like start and end, and wrote, please jump. And so everybody in the neighborhood was going for a walk would like do the hopscotch right there at that one spot, and then keep walking, and then you go around the block, do the hopscotch, and keep walking.
Yep.
So here's my thought, all right, parents. What if by the time we met up with each other again, we took our kids outside and somehow did a random act of kindness or left something for beautification and took a picture of it? So my commitment over the next couple of days, I'm gonna make a couple Peace Rocks. I'm gonna leave one at Starbucks and Pete's, because maybe that's where I go, maybe so. Maybe even at Rite Aid. Where else? We just go to the same places in front of my office, and they're gonna have words on it. And so if you happen to see my Peace Rocks, take a picture of it and bring it. And then let's see if anyone on here is willing to try something like that with their family. And why does this matter for tonight? It's bigger than even just beautification. It is for us to get out, to be with our families, to maybe do something a little fun. It's about mental health. I mean, we could tie everything into coming safely out of our squares, right? And if you are not going outside and you don't feel comfortable going outside, that's okay too. Maybe you can send a text message or a beautiful picture to someone. And so I'm committing to putting Peace Rocks at my places. They'll be outside the door. So if you see it, let me know. Is there anyone else who wants to make a parent guardian commitment with me to do an activity like this with their family? If so, I'd love to hear what you'd be willing to try in our community. And if you know where you're going to put it, let me know and we'll go see it. Who's willing to try on something? Hello, it's me.
Sidewalk chalk. Yeah, there you go.
Sidewalk chalk, okay. Anyone else? You out there? Hello? Hello? I see your hand, little one. Are you going to do something? Nancy says we walk every day. Great. Okay, and there's a link there for Peace Rocks as well. Sidewalk chalk. Okay, so what I think I'm hearing is maybe we all just buy a lot of sidewalk chalk and start writing on our sidewalks in front of our homes and beautify it there. If you need some sidewalk chalk, put in an email right there in the chat box and I'll mail you and your kids some colorful sidewalk chalk, okay? All right.
Absolutely.
All right, so we want to pause for a minute and just open it up for anything you all want to talk about or need to kind of say, because I hear a lot of the silence, but I also hear a lot of the sound that comes with silence. Is there anything that anyone wants to express or talk about right now for our last couple minutes? And then I want to also answer or give some thoughts on one of Annie's questions or comments.
You know what's interesting? The poet laureate who spoke today, she said something to what you were just saying. You know, you said about silence and what's kind of in silence. She said, I don't want to misquote her, but she said, silence does not mean there's peace.
Right.
So I think what you said is really profound, and what she said is really profound. Just because people are quiet doesn't mean that all is calm and peaceful.
Yeah, thank you. And I thank you so much for that because, there's some things as parents, as guardians, our young kids have seen a lot in this last 10 or 11 months. Some of them know more than others, some don't. And you all as parents and guardians, if you've been doing a lot to try to hold your kids together and yourself with all going on in the world, go ahead and put hands up. Give me a thumbs, give me a heart, right? Hold yourself, hug yourself, right? Right. And so a lot of the stuff that's going on will not go away overnight. But what we know and what history tells us is that as community, the more we pull together, the more we put kids together, right? What if our kids' tables at school looked as diverse as it looks right here, right? The more we pull together, the more hope and healing will come. And so I want to acknowledge all of the feelings spoken and unspoken and say that there will be a day when we all come back to school again. I'm so excited. Just thinking about it makes me excited. I don't know the day. Don't ask me and don't ask James, okay? I don't want to get him in trouble. But there will be that day. And we continue to hold on to that hope. And guess what? Why don't we all just stand in front of the school and listen to the kids laugh as they run to class? So tonight, I want to put that image in your head that hope in our country looks one way, but now let's bring that down to San Leandro and our schools. And hope for us looks like we are getting closer to the day where we can take our kids to school and see each other face to face. We don't know that date, but we know it's coming. And that was kind of the symbolism of today. And so as we build in community, let's build all waiting and hoping for that day, but build our community together until that day comes. And whatever it took for you to show up tonight to build community, sometimes it's not about how much people say, but it's about the fact that you showed up. And that says a lot. Let's throw up some hearts right now, my little ones. That says a lot that you came tonight. Steve, would you like to say something, my friend? Oh, right. Someone said their kid got an absence on the first day of school as a holiday break. I'm with you there. And then let's see. I'm trying to read
For Steve, I'm not directly related to what what happened, but I am posting up the parent facilitators, which may be a good starting place as a resource for your school site. And then for our new family, the Hoppins, I hope I said your name right. I'm sorry if I messed up. This also might be helpful for you. This is a list of all the parent liaisons at each of the schools for your interest and edification. And then Gingy, it's almost time for the raffle, and I also have your announcement slide. I don't know if you want that.
Okay, yes. And one more thing I wanted to address, Annie. Miss Annie said, and I think this is for a lot of parents, what do we do when our kids don't want to go outside? Like they don't want to go outside, they don't want to move, they're kind of lazy or sedentary just because that's what it's been. As a parent, what I would say is go with them. 5 minutes, 10 minutes. My 11-year-old, he doesn't want to go outside sometimes, but one day I made him go for a hike and he said, Mommy, thank you so much for making me do that. I didn't know I needed it. And sometimes our kids don't know what they need. And so for those of us parents struggling, my suggestion to you is just kind of pull their hands and have them go for a couple minutes. All right. Frank, go ahead.
Great. So shall I put up your announcement slide first?
Yeah, that's fine.
Great.
I'm having fun in the chat box.
And then James, I saw someone is asking for the San Leandro High School parent facilitator. I'm not sure who that person might be. Or Lacey or Joanna. There's a no. Lacey's giving me a no. So there may not be a parent facilitator. So I'm not sure, Luis, who would be the starting place for you just yet. We're gonna find that out though. Share screen. James,
would that individual reach out to you then about the high school need?
I'm going to respond to them in the chat.
Okay. Great. You all, we have an announcement to make. So Franklin and I met with James and his team at San Leandro Unified and Assistant Soup, and we have been talking about the different needs we see from parents. And so we are going to be offering a couple more parent groups. We will still have this place. So we really, really want you to come to this place, but we are going to open up 3 other parent groups that will be 3 to 5 sessions. So they're kind of short, in an hour. One of those parent groups will be a group for single parents or parents who are co-parenting. And so that parent group, we will create a landing pad just like this, where you all can talk, where we can have conversation, where Franklin and I can bring in some of our other colleagues or friends who also are single parents or co-parenting. And so we're excited. The district is like, yay, let's go. The second group, we will be doing a group possibly, and we're talking about this for special families. So we have heard there are parents, all of us have different kids and our kids have different needs. And there are some spaces where we can have different and separate conversations or just talk about how we're feeling and what's going on for us. And then the third group will be called Black Love, Black Joy. That third group is for families who are raising Black children and identify even as Black families. We know that in this climate around anti-racism and just a lot of tension, that there's a special place needed to do some healing and some conversation. And so we're so excited that the district has heard, and these spaces will be sending out invites. They will run for 1 hour as well. And you guys will be invited, and please come to the group that you feel like also is relevant to your family and your needs, but also come back here. All right, any comments or questions before we do the raffle? I love watching the kids raise their hand. I really want to call on them. That's the teacher in me. All right, go ahead, Frank, take it away.
All right, it's my time to do the raffle. Again, we did a random number tonight and just counted the folks in the space. Can you hear me fine, Lacey? Oh, you talking back? Yeah.
Okay.
And so our raffle winners tonight, first